serving police officers, showing that up to 20% of them are thinking about quitting the force and doing so within the next year or two. What on earth is going wrong? Problem, of course, is that those that go will be the experienced ones to be replaced by inexperienced ones. Kevin Hurley, former Detective Chief Superintendent at the Met Police, joins me from his home in Surrey. Kevin, this figure is shocking.
Really alarming. And Nigel, I come from a family of 9 Metropolitan Police officers. My own son resigned last year with 16 years service. As you said, a very experienced detective sergeant on the anti-terrorist squad, been on the Grenfell inquiry, murder inquiries before, just lost to the organisation to the private sector. I've got 2 nephews still in on the flying squad, so I'm pretty much up to date with what's going on. But what can we do about it? I think it's already going a bit too far. The terms and conditions have really dropped off under Theresa May's, what I would describe as an attack on the police service, where their pay has really dropped off, spending power down about 22% on what it once was. Worse still, the golden handcuffs, which were once the excellent police pension, have been taken away, and the pension is now much reduced. So there's no reason for people at the 15-year point to stay on to get their 30 in when they're already a very attractive item to be taken up by, the big 4 accountants, the banks and so on. And in fact, the rail companies take on loads and loads of uniformed constables as train drivers because of their decision-making and problem-solving skills, which is exactly what you need for a train driver. The other thing that's killing them is the constant media and activist battering for police officers. I mean, I can tell you about what it's like to be a police officer, to go to a christening or a wedding or a barbecue and be constantly hounded by people criticising the police about something that they've read or heard about that happened in Scotland, Durham, Cornwall, London or Kent. You just get sick of it. And in the end, you say, well, I'm a life assurance salesman, actually. Are you covered? And then people go away. I mean, I'm not joking.
No, I never thought,
the criminal
Kevin.
Justice.
I never thought that policemen would join the list of estate agents and politicians as being that unpopular. But surely, I mean, you've been involved with the force for a long, long time. Surely the police have always had a fair degree of stick.
No, I mean, you're correct. But, the point about being in the police is that you're not there to be loved. You're there to keep the king's peace, if you like, enforce the law and stand between the bullies and the dishonest thugs and the innocent and vulnerable people. And that means necessarily you're not going to be liked by everyone. But that's not the issue. What's going on now is this constant chip off the back of that one psychopath and the other, if you like, Tinder rapist. Everybody now thinks the police are kind of all like that. What that means for the individual patrol officers, they're being given stick everywhere. For example, their bosses left, right and centre are rolling over. Oh, yes, we're institutionally racist. What that means for a 25-year-old constable working in Balham High Street is everyone screaming at him, you're a racist pig. They get surrounded on the streets when they try and do a stop and search or an arrest. And frankly, a lot of them are just thinking it's not worth it. Add to that the fact that the criminal justice system is collapsing. They're tipping out the prisons with early releases, so because, of course, there's no prison space. Cases are taking years to get to court. They're getting derisory sentences because there's no room in the prisons. All of that's really demoralising for the police. And build on top of that, the so-called Independent Office of Police Conduct, who are effectively scout hunters who will do anything to put a police officer either before the courts or at a discipline hearing. It's a perfect storm that's adding up to people going. And I have to say, I absolutely loved it, Nigel. People would have said I was an inspirational leader, but I wouldn't do it again, knowing what the terms and conditions are like. And I wouldn't encourage anyone now to join the police service. And though I'm deeply sad that my son has left, I'm very happy for him that he's got his life back. So I don't know what that's saying, but I think it's saying we're in trouble. No. Only today we heard 500 boat people came into the country. Lord knows where they're from. Lord knows what their background is. But virtually every one of them is an economic migrant. They'll all be chancers and risk takers. or they wouldn't make the journey. I don't blame them. But when you've got that demographic happening every day, we're seeing massive changes to the populations in our inner cities everywhere. And it isn't police like it once was, because the police don't physically have the numbers. So,
No, well,
as a society,
I have to say,
they are, Nigel, at one point, they are the bricks and mortar that hold the economy together, and they enable people to go about to work, if you like. And if the mortar between the bricks falls apart, then we're in big trouble. And you've only got to look at failed nations everywhere else around the world, or steadily failing ones, to see what it does to the economy and the quality of life of the residents when the criminal justice system collapses.
Well, Kevin Hurley, that was thoroughly depressing, but I think probably very realistic. Thank you.